I'm Catherine Tinsley with the Nocturnal. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing, Catherine?
I'm good. Are you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
So, the film shows the challenges of a teenage boy battling with mental illness. What was the hardest part of playing a character with schizophrenia?
I mean, I think being able to. I don't know if it was necessarily difficult or hard, but just making sure I had all the facts in front of me before we started shooting, and making sure I had a real kind of safety net of information that I could fall back on no matter what, to make sure. Because I just, the entire time from the first time I read the script, my real priority was always making sure that we're talking about this stuff in the right way, that we're not taking any liberties just for creative purposes, or just because something might seem more dramatic or compelling, but that everything is always coming back to a place of really being grounded in the reality of what it's like to live with this condition. So that was, I think, something that was really important to me at the beginning, and that I try to spend a lot of time on. And then, once we were shooting, I think just making sure that each moment felt authentic, and that it was grounded in that real experience, and that it was never, getting out of control. But I think when you have a really great script to fall back on as well, you know nothing should be too difficult. But yeah, so I hope that answers your question.
It does. And do you hope that with viewers seeing Adam and how he's navigating his world will sort of help them um, reimagine how they view schizophrenia and mental illness?
I mean, I hope so. I really see this movie as like the first steps to really finding out all the information you can about schizophrenia, but more generally too, just mental illness, and what that experience feels like for the individual experiencing it. And I think that really just depends on that person. But I think, I've had people that have seen this movie who have told me, who, don't really struggle with mental health issues in any type of serious way, just tell me that the message of overcoming your shame, whatever that may be for you, and also trusting the people you love, even when that's the most terrifying thing to do. Things like that, I think anybody can connect to regardless of circumstance, and that's definitely something that I hope people can get from the movie for sure.
What do you hope audiences will feel like once they finish watching the film?
I mean, I hope they feel hopeful. I hope that they feel less alone. I hope that they can watch this movie and just connect with anything from it. I mean, that's always my goal with anything that I get to do. But I think especially for this, because I feel like for such a long time, mental health especially just hasn't been talked about in a compassionate way, really. And I think this movie is definitely trying to do that. And so I just hope that that is continued, and that if nothing else, people will just have a more compassionate relationship with their mental health and the mental health of others.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Those are my final questions. I hope you have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Thank you. So, Maya is a brilliant student and a selfless friend. Um, how did you prepare for taking on the role of Maya? Did you read the book previously before taking on this role? What was your preparation process?
Yeah, I read the book prior to shooting the film. My preparation was more so, and usually is just, or not usually, it's because it's always different. But I, spending time as her, she's quite blunt, and she has her own set of secrets, and so I wanted to find a way into that, and how I could do that in a way that felt truthful to me, um, and just learning also a lot about schizophrenia and that specific um, mental illness. Um, yeah, we filmed it 2 years ago, so part of me, like, after I film something, puts it in a compartment, like, in the back of my brain. So um, that's what I remember about my prep.
And so seeing Maya, she's also a student of color at this like prestigious Catholic school, and she is on a
Mhm.
scholarship based on her academic achievements. Do you feel like it's super important to have that level of representation, not just for students of color, but also students who might be receiving financial help to go to these elite institutions?
Yeah, of course. I especially because she is um, perhaps one of one at that school, or one of a couple. Her, her whole guise is because nobody is like her at that school. So she has this sort of, her hustle with tutoring, writing essays for kids who would have gotten in there probably because of their families, perhaps because of their socioeconomic state. And I like that she's kind of this fish out of water in this school and has to use a different set of tools on top of everything else that that she has to do already, which is like be a student. um and they both come from, he fits into the school more but has this mental illness nobody knows about, including her, until the very end of the film. And so they can relate in a really interesting way, I think.
And do you hope that watching the film will be able to help teens who might be struggling with mental illness or loving someone with mental illness come to terms with sort of navigating the world around them?
Yeah, I think that this film will be embraced by a lot of people who deal with that, and as it should be. My eyes are watering right now, but
It's
I'm
okay.
not crying, they're just watering.
It's allergy
It's
season.
allergy season, I know.
What do you hope audiences can gain from watching this film?
Um, I hope that they feel, seen in some way, or see their families on screen, um, and their friends, and just feel like uh, that they're not alone. You know.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank you.
telling a great story and taking your time to speak with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much.